We're going to look at how to divide two fractions. Now we have a mixed number, which is a combination of a whole number and a fraction divided by another mixed number, which is again a whole number and a fraction. And we can't just divide 3 by 1 and 1/3 by 1/5. We have to firstly change both these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So the first step is to change them into improper fractions. So we multiply the whole number, the 3, by the denominator, which is a 3. So 3 times 3, which is 9. And we add on the numerator, which is 10. And we place that over the original denominator, which is 3. And then we move on to the second fraction, and we take the whole number and we multiply it by the denominator, which is 5. So 1 times 5, which is 5, and add on the numerator, which is 6. And we place that over the original denominator, which is 5. Now, people think that just because they're fractions and we're dividing, it's going to be harder, but it isn't. What we have to remember is a rule, and that rule is what we call keep, change, flip. And what that means is that we keep the first fraction, the first improper fraction, the same. We change the division for a multiplication sign, and we flip the second fraction so it becomes 5 over 6. Okay, so we just flip it upside down. Now this is the stage that we got to if you looked at the other video on multiplying fractions, where if we can cancel something from the top and the bottom, then we do that at this stage. Now we're looking for things that we can divide into. So can I divide anything into the 3 and the 5? No. Can I divide anything into the 6 and the 10? Yes, I can divide the 6 by 2 and the 10 by 2. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to divide this by 2 and I get 3. And I'm going to divide this by 2 and I get 5. And all that does is it makes the calculations a little bit easier to deal with. Now, like in the previous video, when we multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators together. So we have 5 multiplied by 5, which is 25. And then we multiply the denominators together. So we have 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9. Now this is what we call an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator, and we want to change it back into a mixed number like the numbers we started with in the question. So we look at how many 9s divide into 25. Well, that is 2. And there are 7 remaining out of the original 9. Now at this stage we look to see if we can simplify the fraction part anymore. 7 is a prime number, and we can't, the only thing we can divide into 7 is 7 or 1, and we can't divide 7 into 9, so therefore that is the answer in its simplest form.